This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good evening, everybody. Happy Cram session number 3, everybody. Today we're going to be going through the SHRM SCP materials and kind of continuing the process. This is the last of our 3 that we recorded during this section. And we're going to have them all on our website. Actually, the first 2 are already up on HR Florida on the certification page. You can go watch each one of those. And at any time, if you're driving in the car, I think Sandra's driving in the car listening to this one today. So anytime you're driving to and from work, you're thinking about catching a session, you can go on the HR Florida site, click on it, listen to them. They're all about an hour and 2 or 3 minutes. So you can kind of hammer through one. I don't know if it lets you fast forward or not, but I think it does. It's actually like a YouTube, it's actually a YouTube video. So you can definitely fast forward through anything you want or that kind of thing, but it's always there. There's actually, so now we have 9, this will be our 10th session in our windows, and we'll just keep piling them up. We were just talking about our next session that's coming up for the winter section next time, and we'll try to get those together. So my name is Doug Baber. I'm the certification director for HR Florida, and we're just putting on this Cram sessions. And tonight we're lucky enough to have somebody from all the way as far down south as we can get. I think we got the Florida Keys chapter, Mary Ann. She's here. She's the president of Florida Keys, and she's gracious enough to co-host with me. And actually, she's going to be the one to get all the questions right. So that's what I always look for every time. And generally, she's in the chat box, busting in her answers, and I'm very appreciative of every time that you join into these. She likes to keep her skills sharp, and we're very appreciative. And I wanted to make sure I give you a chance to co-host with me and have a little bit of fun. So welcome, Mary Ann. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I kind of let the cat out of the bag on the keys part. You can open the window so we can see.
Yeah, so I'm my name is Mary Ann Magner, and I'm president of the Florida Keys Society for Human Resources Management, a chapter down in the Keys. In my daily life, I'm the HR director for Keys Federal Credit Union, which is a small credit union down in the Keys. And I was thinking about the fact that today, or one of these days, it's about my third year anniversary of having achieved my SBHR certification. So my birthday is July 10th, and I remember being in a hotel room on July 10th studying, because the next day, yeah, I guess it is my third anniversary. The next day I had my test. So 3 years ago I did it, which was an amazing accomplishment for me. So yeah, as far as myself, I've been in the Keys for about 25 years. I've been working for Keys Federal for about 25 years. I started as a teller, then became executive assistant, and from there I rolled into HR. Then I've been both, I was marketing director at one point, I oversaw all the branches at one point, and then finally went back to my first love, which was HR. And that's where I decided I really needed to study for my certification. So that was, I want to say 2018, I think. We actually, the chapter won a scholarship from HR Florida at the time, where the chapter received 5 certification booklets or programs. And so we put a study group together, and I think we had about 6 or 7 people, and 3 of us got our certification. We studied really hard. So I was very excited. So as far as Florida Keys SHRM, we're a small group. We have about 40 members, and pretty much all the large employers here are either government, the school board, hotel industry, hotel motels, those kind of things, and banks. And so we're a pretty tight group, and we have about 11 meetings per year, where we also have usually presentations and things like that. So yeah, I think that sums it up for me.
Well, happy belated birthday to you. Oh my gosh, no wonder you missed the other day. I give you a pass. You know, you're hard enough to study the day before. I remember going on that Saturday morning to take the test of myself, and they make you unload all your pockets, and they put everything in a locker, and it's just like they wand you like you're going into the airport. I was like, wow, this is legit. You know, don't move your head around because they think you're cheating. So that's one thing I remember. You can't even like look up. I didn't even look up. Couldn't even take water in it. It's crazy. Not only do you want to spend your birthday, but happy belated to you. And thanks for being a part of this. I know we're going to have a lot of fun today. Nobody laugh at me too much. I generally miss the questions, and I do them on purpose. I miss them on purpose, just so you guys know. But Not everybody likes to put themselves out there. So if you get a chance and I read the question and you think you got the right answer, just throw it in the chat box. Marianne, jump in. Anybody else? We've got a small group tonight because it's the end of the testing window. If you want to talk your answer out, or if you got a reason why you want to do it, just feel free to chime in at any time, or just put your comment. We go with A, B, C, or D in the comment box, and then we'll go from there. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. So in sections for session number 3, we're going to go through people, and it's going to be all this part of people. So I thought this would be a good one for us. And remember, we're talking about the SCP exam, so we're thinking about the strategic level, not what the book says you do. It's more of how you would do it as if you were the CEO or the HR executive director, or however that was, and you were in charge of that at the highest level in HR. So think about that as you're taking this test and going through these questions. So HR strategic planning, it's good to come right out of the gate with that one. Let me switch my screen to share here, and push the wrong button. And let's see here, share. Let's try. There it goes, as smooth as you want it to go, but I made it. Survived. All right, strategic planning and management. If you guys are ready, we're going to hammer away here. Start. All right. An organization is struggling to create and implement a strategic management plan. While multiple divisions have been involved in the creation of the plan from the start, factionalism and has led to an infighting over how major portions of the plan will be benefit from certain divisions. What should HR ensure is being done during the planning process to connect this situation to ensure the plan is successfully created and implemented? Focus on core competencies when creating a plan. Avoid taking shortcuts and analyzing how options benefit various divisions. Control the conversation to avoid strategic drift. There you go. Ensure that the efforts of all divisions are properly aligned. So we have A, B, C, and D. And remember, when you reread the question as much as you possibly need to. And the final question is, what should HR ensure is being done during the planning process to correct the situation and ensure that the plan is successfully created and implemented? So I'm a meeting manager all day long. So in HR, you do have to control the meeting because it'll get off track. So there's a couple different options. You know, if you like A, like you focus on the core competencies when creating a plan is highly important. D is ensure that the efforts of all divisions are properly aligned. You got a favorite answer, Marianne?
Well, I'm looking at, they're throwing in some interesting words like strategic drift, core competencies. So it's easy to kind of go, oh, it must be that because that sounds important. So no, I don't know yet. What should HR ensure is being done during the planning process to correct the situation and ensure the plan is successfully created and implemented? I tend to go with either A or C.
There's infighting going over on how major portions of the plan will benefit certain divisions. So they're trying to say, oh, if you do this, it'll help this one. And, if you talk about more green space, it'll help out Parks and Rec, and it sounds like there's a lot of fighting going on what they want to do. So that's why I lean towards C, but you're right. It threw in the $7 word on me, strategic drift. That's the one that kind of.
So this is where you go and say, was strategic drift, even though it sounds like a really cool word, was that part of what I've learned? Was that one of my terms that I had to learn? Right now, I don't know.
We got
so A or C?
A or C. We got one person that said D. A is focus on core competencies when creating a plan. And C, I've got another D in there. I got 2 Ds. Ensure the efforts of all divisions are properly aligned. It's not a bad one either, but all right. So A, C, or D? What are you thinking? Should I make a guess?
Let's go C. We like strategic drifts.
Do like the strategic. It was drawing me out there on that first
That
one.
was D. Well, good for you, April.
It's crucial that everyone align in the efforts of the works to ensure that departmental goals are aligned with the overarching organizational goal. Divisions are not to be concerned about securing specific benefits for themselves. Of course, we don't think about ourselves during the strategic planning process. All right. Not a good start. Corporate leadership has requested that HR develop an employee engagement strategy for a newly acquired division, and HR shows the model for strategic planning. Which phase of strategic planning will focus on gathering information to create the strategy? Formulation, evaluation, development, or implementation? So which phase of the strategic plan will focus on gathering information to create the strategy? So it sounds like formulation or development. It's probably formulation, but is that a real thing? Development is kind of like you're developing your strategic plan. It's what we did when we did ours in the county. We kind of did our focus groups and we talked about the things that are important to each one of us. And I don't know if formulation is a real word, but it sounds cool. I got 3 A's, so somebody else likes it. Hopefully those are the ones that are studying for the test here.
One of the things that they suggested as you're studying for the test is when you have a strategy like this, in this particular case, there's 4 different elements to that strategy. They'll never ask about the second or the third. It will always be the first or the last, which is the case here.
Yeah, implementation, evaluation. I had first or last there. So I got the groups going A here. Let's see what it is. Nice job. Nice job. All right, which HR action is predictive and successful strategic outcomes of the organization? Tracking results across the organizations to ensure that business units' goals are support the strategic objectives. Focusing on the organization's core competencies in each business unit to evaluate and employ change as needed. Articulating the organization's strategy and ensuring alignment with the mission, vision, and values. Evaluating business unit results and to determine the effectiveness of strategic initiatives in this area. Which HR action is predictive of successful strategic outcome in an organization? So B is talking about focusing on the organization's core competencies in each business unit to evaluate and employ a change as needed. I like that one. Somebody said B, somebody said C, articulating organizational strategies. That's a good one. Mission, vision, and core values. C, or yeah, that's a 2 C's and a B there. Anyone? Bueller? All right. I'm feeling C here. I got 2 C's and a B, and I said B. So we're kind of 2 and 2. Somebody break the tie. April, break the tie. Or did you pick already, April? Oh, you picked C. Marianne, you got to break the tie here.
I did. I had C as well. Didn't I not?
Oh, maybe
yeah, I went with C.
C. It was B. I told you.
It was B? No.
I'm totally vindicated from that first one. I blew it. Organizations are successful with a strategy master the skills and alignment of efforts across all business needs, controlling drift, evaluated by correcting course necessary. All right. For a variety of reasons, mostly personal, an HR organization has had an unusual degree of turnover in its leadership in the past 3 years. What challenge of the function most likely to encounter in fulfilling its strategic plan? More frequent lapses in the staff's ethical behavior, loss of core competencies in the function, inconsistent decision-making, increased resistance to change. Ding, 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 ding. I don't see them, the ethical behaviors are going bad, right? Because all of a sudden it just goes to pot, like, just smoking weed at work and stuff. I mean, come on. Did they get that bad? What challenge of the function is most likely encountered to fulfilling a strategic plan? HR has had an unusual degree of turnover.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide between B and C, because I can see the loss of core competencies because you're basically starting to refill those positions and you have to teach from scratch, train from scratch, and an inconsistent decision making, and that would be a result from having to start with new staff, even leadership staff.
We were doing it that way because so-and-so said we do it that way. And they're not here anymore.
True.
But generally, you're going to have turnover. You get increased changes. If you've ever been there and all of a sudden you want to turn over your management team, it doesn't get pretty. They're always somebody's always mad at the person that has to get rid of those people, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do we got in the box over here? We got 2 B's, a lone ranger here. That is Jennifer Brown. She's from St. Lucie County chapter. She's quiet today. 3 B's. I'm gonna go B. Oh, it was definitely C. Oh man, staff's ethical behavior. That one definitely wasn't right. Other possible answers, inconsistent decision making would be most likely, since each new leader will interpret priorities differently. That's it. HR has gathered information about the factors that drive employee engagement in a newly acquired division. Which phase of the strategic planning will HR be using that they translate the data gathered into the employee engagement strategy? I screwed that up. Which phase in strategic planning will HR be using as they translate the data gathered into employee engagement strategy? So they're translating the data. So definitely not formulation, right? We already did that one. Evaluations at the end. What'd you say, first or last? So development looks kind of cool there. Employee engagement, which information and factors may drive employee engagement? I don't know. I can't go with implementation, but I think development's it. I got B's and a D. Let's go B. Anybody disagree? Speak now. Marianne went B. All right, we're back on the road. Finished. We might want to take that one again as a group team. HR strategy. The only good part about that one is it didn't have a long essay. Strategy formulation. We'll get to people management soon. Which activity is a logical part of environmental scan? Analysis of minority employees in the organization, analysis of local and state unemployment rates, analysis of the organization's labor contract, review of internal salary survey data. Which activity is a logical part of an environmental scan? So you're checking out the whole world, right? Or you're checking out just your people. Local and state unemployment rates. Somebody else, everybody was with me on that one. I see B's all the way across the board. All right, there we go. Which issue identified during environmental scan for a small family-owned grocery store represents a threat to its competitive strategy? A gas station on the next block has expanded to include new convenience store. An ethnic foods grocery has opened up in the shopping center a mile away. The cost of bulk rate direct mail has risen 15% in the last 6 months. Which local government recently imposed a 5-cent fee for plastic merchant bags? The local government. Which issue identified during environmental scan for small family-owned grocery store as a threat to competitive strategy? Is there anything other than A? I can't find one that's not A. The trash
I would
bag?
agree.
I can't. You guys all got A. All right, we're gonna go with A. All right, thank God. My luck, it would have been D or something. SWOT analysis. The company announces that it intends to capture another 20% of the market share by opening 10 more stores within 3 years in key locations. What is being communicated? Excuse me. External opportunity, strategic objective, organizational vision, mission statement. It's going to grow. They're going to steal more, 24%. Is it a B, strategic objective? All right, there we go. Oh, I see a C. Let's see, organizational vision. That's a good point. We're talking about strategic formulation, strategy formulation, though.
My guess is because if it says 20% of the market share, that's usually something a little bit more specific, where your vision is going to be a little bit more generic, I think, same as mission statement. That's my guess.
And that's a good rationale. And you nailed it. Guest host scores 1 for the win. All right, during a strategic planning meeting, the planning team develops its 3 to 5 year objectives. Which is the primary value of setting such objectives? Employees will know what values and behaviors the organization expects. B, the mission and vision can be crafted to support those objectives. C, The objectives provide focus and direction for the organization. D, there is limited value and the time frame is too far out to be practical. I like that one. Develops a 3 to 5 year objectives. What is the primary value of setting such objectives? The objectives provide focus and direction for the organization. Yes. I think D is like the most funny answer.
But it's true.
What have you done for me lately?
I disagree with the first part, but the last part is true. We actually have gone to 2 to 3 years now because we find things are changing too fast.
3 to 5 years, yeah. Well, you're right. The computer changes. A new iPhone comes out every 6 months, right?
Right. Yep.
So it's C, not D. I almost pushed D by accident. All right, 2 in a row. What is the key benefit of defining an organization's values? They provide employee success factors. B, they guide employee behavior and decision making. C, they define values and avoid ethical complications. D, they guarantee compliance with employment laws. What is the key benefit of defining an organization's values? Yeah, that's what are we here for, and why are we doing what we do, right? So B is the guide to behavior and decision making. That's pretty good. D is guaranteed compliance. So that has no bearing on it, right? Define the values and avoid ethical. I don't see how that works. D. You guys have B, B, B. The B's have it.
All right.
We totally redeemed ourselves from that first one, didn't we? 100%.
The first one was a warm up. Now
Yeah.
we're getting good.
Let's practice. All right, strategic development. Right. Next. An organization known primarily for manufacturing automobile tires uses its expertise to branch into manufacturing tires for airplanes. What type of strategy is this? Business, transformational, operational, and corporate. An organization known primarily for manufacturing automobile tires uses its expertise to branch out into manufacturing of tires for autoplanes. Well, I don't like anything other than B. Everybody else said B, right?
I'm in agreement.
B. Ah!
What?
I did not see that one coming. The reason it's not B is a transformational strategy moves an organization to an entirely different way of producing value, which is necessitate broad changes. So just because they're good at tires, they can't continue to make tires somewhere else. That goes along with corporate. I think the book's wrong here. Which business strategy is being used when a global furniture company varies from its sofa fabrics and dimensions to fit its local market tastes while standardized manufacturing methods? While using standardized manufacturing methods. Competitive advantage, product differentiation. C is localization production, and D is benchmark manufacturing. So they're using their sofa fabrics and dimensions to fit the local market taste. Competitive advantage, A is pretty cool. I don't see benchmarking be it. Localization product, that's probably it, C. That's a big word in there. So I got an A or C, and we've got an A, a B, and a B. So we've got it across the board here. What did
75% chance of getting it good.
would be B? I got the B's have it there. Was that 3 B's? Yeah. And it would be. Nice job, team. Everybody with me. What is the most likely advantage of starting a Greenfield operation? Culture of the Greenfield, it's always in there. Cultural disconnects will be readily apparent throughout the building process. The operation can learn local law as it encounters relevant situations. Tensions and challenges with the local workforce are eliminated. The company can start fresh with the new challenges, workforces, and practices. So the D is like a strong answer. I like B just for the hell of it. But everybody else says D. Oh, yeah, somebody else said B. April said B. I like B just for Grammys, but I can't be right, right? Always go with your first answer, D. Oh, we got it. There we go. Don't ever change your answer on the SHRM test. More control and strategy. All right. Which term best describes organizational compatibility with external and internal environments related to the goals and values the organization chooses and the resources and capabilities that can be deployed? Competitive advantage, performance strategy, strategic fit, business performance. Competitive advantage just jumps right out at you, right? Like, what else could it be besides A? Easy. Compatibility with external and internal environments. You're just crushing it. We got a. Anybody else? Oh, Marianne jumped in with A. Oh, yeah. I talked you all into A. I'm sorry. Strategic fit. Robert Grant defines a strategic fit. Oh, of course, the old Robert Grant definition. Compatibility with organizational strategy, external, internal. Wow. Strategic fit. Never miss that one again. What growth strategy for a small manufacturer of specialized electrical controls will probably have the greatest impact on an HR function? Acquire an existing business with similar processes and products. Contract with a qualified manufacturer in a country with lower labor costs to produce specific products. Add capacity by building a new plant in a different part of the country. Create an alliance with larger manufacturers who can market these products more effectively. I like them all. Small business specialized electronic controls will probably have the greatest input on HR function. Cross training, where's that one? Somebody like A. Ooh, Marianne said C. April said A. Jennifer said C. Couple C's and an A. April, any reason why you got A? Acquire an existing business with some products? That's just taking over the world right there, right? What was that cartoon?
Just done an acquisition before, and it can be a lot to bring in the new set of people with the new roles and all, new benefits, all of that. But I can see C as well. You add a whole new plant, you have mass hire, you have whole different, workers' comp and another potential, location that has different workers' comp laws. So I could see A or C.
The only good news is it's in the same part of the it's in the same country, right? So you don't got like people that have to take siestas at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or, drinking during the day.
When you build a new plant, you have to hire new people and then you have to train them. So I think that's why I went with C.
You do A and you bring in all their bad problems, right?
Yeah.
It's like I used to be in the restaurant business and I like to hire waitresses and waiters that never served tables before because they didn't come with bad habits. I'm going to go with C. I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm sorry, April. Kind of feel like C. Oh, we got it. Add capacity by building a new plant in a different part of the country. Greenfield growth strategy. Well, 60%, that passing, D for diploma. We need to do a little better than that on the next one here. So we're 200 out of 300, right? If you get a 40, a 100, and a 60, we're still all right. This is the tiebreaker here. Strategy, implementation, and evaluation. We do this all right. The VP of Operation wants to consolidate similar functions in the organization and seeks the help of HR for ideas on how to allocate resources to manage the change as a time-limited project. Which sequence of project management steps should HR advise the VP to take? A, define strategically aligned project objectives. Set the schedule, budget, and ways to monitor quality, process, and use of resources. Evaluate project results. Create metrics to measure project outcomes. Establish communication strategy. Establish project team to ensure that the project is achieved within budget. Okay, that's a given. Meet with the stakeholders to agree on expectations, report progress, guard against scope changes, ensure the use of the resources is measured regularly to detect workload issues. This is redundant. Create a project schedule, select cross-functional project members, create and implement a work breakdown structure. Excuse me. That was a mouthful. There's a lot of. So I got A. I came out of the gates with A. I was done. I don't know about you. I was done reading after I read A. That was like everything was there.
I liked A because it said strategically aligned, and that's a buzzword that is an important one.
I couldn't even read. I was tongue tied the rest of the time because I was just thinking, why am I reading the rest of these? I just want to click on A. So did Siri. All right, let's go with A. But somebody's got C. I like A. Oh, Jennifer likes A, but she's going to go with C. And we're correct. I should have just stopped and pushed A. Define objectives, set the schedule and budget, and evaluate whether the project yielded the right results. Soup to nuts. Before determining the budget for strategic HR initiative, which action should HR project manager first complete? Completing a critical path analysis to identify the funding deadline. Deciding if its venture will be funded by the operations or strategic budget. Somebody else's money. I like that. Comparing historical budget data to the needs of the strategic venture. Confirming support to the senior leadership and sponsors to fund the initiative. Before determining the budget for HR initiative, yeah, try to find money, and that's what we do. Hey, can you help me pay for this? No, that's what I do. I'd like to buy this, but I need some money. Completing a critical path analysis to identify a funding deadline is not it. You like confirming with senior literature, sponsors, and funding initiative. They got the money, right? D, I want to buy a vowel. That's perfect. Somebody got an E. Who said C? All right, no, that was the last one. So Marion got D. I got D. I don't want to buy a vowel.
I got D. I figure I don't want to start a project if no one's interested in me doing it, right?
Right. You know, you're going to senior management and saying, hey, you know what? We're going to knock this out of the park. What do you think? And can I get some money? It's like going to dad. Hey, dad, can you get some cash? I don't think that's a good idea. All right, D. Oh, let's see.
Did we get right?
No.
No.
Comparing historical budget data and the needs of the strategic venture. I don't like that one. First thing an HR project manager would do prior to the plan. I think that Sherm's wrong on that one, but we'll give it to him. When should an organization communicate its strategy to its employees? All right. After a change in the external environment requires a revision in strategy. When important external stakeholders have demanded changes to the organization's strategy, that's a good time to tell everybody. When a new employee joins the organization or existing employees change their positions, that's the answer. After every reorganization, so employees can see how their roles have aligned in the strategy. I mean, do you do that many total reorganizations? I like C. But it can't be. When the important stakeholders have demanded change, you better change or else we change HR directives. C, C, C. We got the C's have it. At the completion of an HR project, what action demonstrates the project has been evaluated effectively? Ensuring that all tasks are completed at the times outlined in the project plan, collaborating with the project team to draft the final communication document, administering the survey to obtain input from the stakeholders on the impact of the project, and D, measuring outcomes to determine if targets have been met or planned. So B is collaborating with the project team to define a final communication document. At the completion of the project, which action demonstrates the project has been evaluated effectively? D or C? Oh, everybody said D. Measuring outcomes to determine if a target has been met or planned. It's been evaluated effectively.
So that's your last stage, your final stage of your project, right?
Yeah, if it's been evaluated effectively. So I've already done it. We're completely done. We passed out our surveys and we bring in the surveys and we're going through them and it's saying you did a great job. You did terrible, right? One of those kind of things, right? All right. Do we do it again? That's what the question is. Do we need to retrain? D, nice job, guys. Right, way to go, way to go. I like that, first or last. I like that. Now I want to remember that. Software development team and creating a new application using the iterative? Excuse me. Tackling new objectives as they are identified in the prioritization by each customer. Which project management approach is being used? Six Sigma, Lean, Agile, Critical Chain. So Lean Six Sigma, I'm a green belt there, so I like that one. But Critical Chain, tackling new objectives as they are identified and prioritized each customer. So I don't know what that one is.
That's what I'm thinking.
I got a bunch of C's here. All right. Agile
Looks like
project.
Lisa is very convinced about C.
Everybody was
Legal, sorry.
when assumptions on the project are made based on unclear as they may evolve as the project work proceeds. Nice job. Oh, 80%. We passed that. We passed that one. I'll give that a pass. Nope, we're down here. Sorry. Talent acquisition. Everybody's favorite. Crowd pleaser. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Clear slate right here. Talent acquisition. Which recruiting strategy is most likely ensure a long-term steady flow of qualified candidates in both an abundant and as well as a tight candidate market, which is today. Employee referrals, university recruiting, social media recruiting, employer branding. So that's the big buzzword there, the branding, the D. The other ones are kind of what you normally do, right? D?
Yep.
I want to work there because it's the best places to work. That's why I want to work there.
That's what we strive for, to get that pipeline going.
Good. And then they tell their body, you're right. They tell their body, and then they tell their body. What is a major talent acquisition consideration for HR leadership when engaging in Greenfield operation? Retention of key talent during the transition process, terms of agreement with a partnering organization, understanding local laws and employment regulations. That's a good one. Integrating new talent resources from the acquired organization. So we're looking for major talent acquisition consideration for HR leadership when engaging in Greenfield operations. Anybody else say C? All right. Jennifer, Leah, C. Anybody else like C?
Yeah.
Marianne's like C.
Greenfield operation, right?
Yep. Involves opening a new site, often in a new location. Nice, fresh green grass getting mowed over, right?
So the opposite of that is the brownfield, right? That's where you take over an existing company.
There you go. Always teaching. That's why you're on here. Which formal employment branding tactic should HR suggest to enhance the employee value proposition at a technology services company without a corporate social responsibility program? Review company materials for consistent messaging, yes. Conduct labor marketing research to determine the community perception. Pursue government safety environmental awards. Communicate the brand through social media and community involvement. Which formal employment branding tactic should HR use to suggest and enhance the employee value proposition in the technology services? So communicate the brand through social media and community involvement is a solid answer. Anybody else like D? I got a C. Miriam, what was C? Is that this answer or is that the last answer?
It's probably last ones.
I mean, I like A and I like D. I got three other D's. We're going D. Nailed it. Nice job. What must be true about an employee value proposition in order for it to be successful? It must cater to the concerns of the millennial generation. It must take a strong stance on sustainability efforts. It must use social media in order to reach the target audience. It must be aligned with the organization's strategic plan. Employee value proposition in order for it to be successful. What must be true? D again? Can I go D?
I think anytime they say something about a strategic plan, you have to take a very hard look at that particular answer. And I hate to be so opportunistic but it's true. SHRM likes HR to be strategic.
Talent acquisition strategy, strategic plan. I like it. Ding, 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 ding. Which is the major talent management issue faced by organizations during mergers and acquisitions. April, this one's for you. Underdeveloped local markets, regional demographic for labor trends, retention of key talent, use of global mobile employees. There we go. Major management issue. C, retention of key talent. Think they're going to leave? Let's see. Good job. You guys are good.
We're seeing it locally here. We have a couple of banks being taken over or being merged, and the local staff, the current staff, is very concerned. And so we, as a credit union, might get a few people from that, but it's sad for them. They're losing some really, really tenured people.
It's not We Florida Financial, right? I'm part of that one.
No, Truist and no, it's not Truist. It's Iberia and New Horizon, something like that.
I have IBM and the other one still. I don't know if they're still. IBM was in Boca. Still got money sitting there if it's still working. Job descriptions, everybody's favorite. An international organization is creating a new position that will be implemented simultaneously in several countries. That's not easy. The HRVP wants to make sure that the organization is able to attract talented, qualified individuals in every location. What can the HRVP do to ensure that they are able to do so? Implement the position A. Implement the position and collect applicant data for each location and base the new incentives on that information. B. Implement a signing bonus, cash. In countries the HRVP is concerned about to create immediate interest. Perform a compensation study to ensure the salary needs meet the market expectations in each location. Write a different job description. D. Write a different job description for each location, emphasizing parts of the job that will be interact with interest in the given location. So that's not good. It's probably what you have to do. I mean, it's like different countries, right? Throw cash at it. Compensation study to find out what, how much they're going to make. So that way you judge your job description based on how much money they're going to make, how many years experience and stuff like that. You guys like C also? All right.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with the job descriptions. That sounds a bad idea.
You don't need 3 different ones for the same job, right?
Yeah.
Organization of the United States is having trouble staffing its international department successfully and is causing revenue growth to fall below expectations. The HRVP wants to look at bringing in an ex parte from a country containing the key market that the organization wants to focus on to drive growth. Excuse me. What must the organization do before hiring an ex parte for the role? I was so proud that I got that word right as I was going through it.
Expatriates.
Prove that the local employee cannot perform the key duties and is responsible for required by the job description. Hire a recruiting firm with a global reach and record the success of the candidate sourcing from the target market. C, hire a translation firm to translate the job description into the language of the target market in order to attract applicants. D, engage in a compensation study to ensure that salary range for the position is globally competitive. We just did that one. Anybody else got A? So I see A. Jennifer put A. I think that's what I would think. You have to prove they can't do it. I like that one. I mean, otherwise you're just like someone, I don't know.
I'm guessing a D, a total guess.
H-1B visa. D, man, I went with D. I'm sitting on an A myself. Anybody want a tie break in here? A D. B is not confident, she says. B. We'll take that as a guess. Mine was a guess too, so I can't go wrong there. What is wrong with that one? Prove that local employees cannot do the key duties and responsibilities of the job description. All right, D. Nail biter. All right, I got another D. There it is.
You guys are right. Cool.
Left into that one. Not even going to read why. I'm just going to go with it's a qualified occupational qualification. I saw BFOQ in there. And that's it. That's all I need to know. Service specialists are given a lot of discretion when dealing with the customers, and those interactions have a big effect on the organizational sales. The difference in revenue generation and the customer satisfaction between the high performers and low performers is significant. What best describes the high performers? Mentor candidates for low performers. There you go. Pivot, pivotal talent pool, future leaders, employees with special skills. So, you said C, Jennifer? Come on. Significant difference between the high and low performers.
I don't like any of the choices.
How can you tell the high performers to start coaching the low performers on what they're doing wrong? I mean, what's wrong with A? Nobody's giving any love on A. D, employees with special skills. What's that mean? If you're gonna pick employees with special skills, you're just gonna move them somewhere else. You know, find a job that they can do. They can be janitors if they can't get sales. I'm going with A, unless somebody feels strongly that it's something else. Pivotal talent pool. I don't know what they mean.
That's such a buzzword. I don't even know what it means.
And future leaders, I mean, that's your high performers that they're talking about. What best describes high performers? Future leaders. Well, now I see why it could be employees with special skills. Totally second guessing myself. And it was B. Pivotal talent. That was too much of a definition word. These service specialists would be an example of what Bordeaux and Remstead call pivotal talent pools. Oh, the old Bordeaux.
It's basically the people you don't want to get rid of. Those are you want to hang on to. They're important to your organization.
They're bringing in the money.
Mm-hmm.
The primary purpose of an essential job function. I thought she was drinking a bottle of wine for a minute. I caught it out of the corner of my eye. Not 7 yet. Which describes the primary purpose of essential job function, so essential duties. To determine the right of an employee with a disability under the ADA, to create position description, to identify a function that cannot be performed by others. Yeah, that's for sure it. And D, to identify the necessary duties of the position. So if it's not D, and if somebody picks C, they're fired. We are talking about job descriptions, so we didn't talk about ADA. Nobody talked about ADA. All right, we're all keeping our jobs.
All right, very good.
In job posting, which element describes the applicant's necessary expertise, education, training, licenses, and certification? Job competencies, job descriptions, job specifications, and job guidelines. What are job guidelines? Applicant's necessary experience, education, training, and licenses. This would be job specifications. See. You see? Job specs. I like it. All right.
Very good. This is not my forte, I will say.
The score is not on the list there. HD just passed that talent acquisition SHRM credential. I saw that on SHRM. Those things are no joke. If you pay for one, it's $1,695, and you get 2 chances to pass the test. And if you don't pass, you lose.
Wow.
How's that?
And is it similar to the certification in terms of how much you have to study?
You know, they do it over. It's like over 4 weeks of classes, twice a week. It's a study group that you do online, and then the test is 50 questions, and you got to get 80%. So
that's rough.
I mean,
good for her.
I passed the one on workforce, inclusive workforce culture. That's what we needed the most, so I took that one, and I wouldn't take it again, so it was tough. Learned a lot though, allyships, things like that. Sourcing and recruiting. An organization is looking to use internal recruiting methods to help forecast which jobs they may be able to easily fill with internal candidates if they open up in the future. Which internal recruiting method would be most helpful? So is that succession planning? Where is that? Job posting, job bidding, employee referrals, nominations. So B would be that employees could bid on it, right? Employees looking for jobs to be able to fill. But that's the organization is looking for jobs. If they open it up, they would have to open it up to internal candidates to bid on it. I don't know. You know, it's something stupid like nominations. B, all right.
Yeah, it's bidding. Yep, cool.
Source, let's see, which of the following is a legal consideration that is associated with using social media for recruiting? False social networking profiles that were set up by an individual seeking to harm another individual, misleading or inaccurate information about a candidate that overstates the candidate's specifications, inadvertently discovering information that is illegal to use when considering an applicant, engaging passive job candidates who may be a good fit for the organization but are not actively looking for jobs. Which of the following is legal considerations that are associated with social media recruiting? So actually the one I thought about immediately was C, you know, like somebody in a picture on their Facebook in a wheelchair, you know, and we're trying to get them to climb ladders or something. You know what I mean? Like that's the one that stuck out the most to me as a risk management professional. All right. C it was. An organization's yield ratio to offers rejected, an organization's yield ratio for offers rejected compared to offers extended for qualified applicants increased from 50% in 1 year to 70% in year 2. What recommendation should HR make to improve the selection results for an organization in the growth mode? Offer less jobs.
Funny.
With an emphasis on increasing applicant flow. Review the employee value proposition along with the newly hired attrition data and exit interview surveys. Those are good. Discuss the organization's strategic plan with executives to consider acquisitions as a way to grow qualified staff. D, meet with managers to understand what they believe to be the issues and discuss their concerns. So B is review the employee value proposition along with the newly hired attrition data and recent exit surveys. You got to come up with a different plan to get more growth. So everybody else got B. More growth.
Although I think D is probably not a bad thing too, but yeah.
Meet with the managers to understand why they believe the issues. Yeah, why are they quitting? Is it you?
But it wouldn't be the only way. Yeah, exactly.
Must be your
Managers never know, and it's true, right?
management style. All right, HR has identified the need to increase staffing efficiencies in order to meet the needs of the organization as it continues to grow. HR particularly wants to reduce search time to fill and improve the analysis of the quality of the candidates, which is the best way to achieve the targets set by HR. Rewrite the job descriptions to create searchable descriptions. Leverage predictive analytics to analyze and place candidates more accurately. Use social media to recruit and screen a majority of candidates. Focus on engaging and retaining current employees instead of hiring new ones. There's a good one. Take care of El Meadow Macho. HR particularly wants to reduce the search time, so focus on the engaging and retaining. I don't know, I like D. So who's got B here? It's probably B. Leverage predictive analytics and analyze and place candidates more accurately. So they're taking the heat for it all. They placed them in the wrong spots. The B's have it. The B's were right. Why is it not D?
D's not bad, but if you read the question, they want to reduce search time and time to fill and improve the analysis. So so while I think D is not a bad suggestion, I think it's good, but it's not the answer to the question.
That you are correct. Nailed it. An organization has always posted jobs internally before advertising them externally. However, managers are frustrated that it takes time to fill jobs. To what problem within the organization does it point? Managers may not trust HR to find the best employees, obviously. The organization may have had a bad reputation in the marketplace. Managers do not understand the benefits of providing a fair and equitable system for job posting, promotion, and lateral moves. The organization may have low-skilled employees. Well, the internal promotions are not working out. Why? Is it HR's fault or is it the employee's fault?
Hmm.
I don't know. You throw all the heat on HR? I don't think so.
So I guess what they're saying is it takes a while because first you do internally, you can't find anybody there, and then you go in externally, and that causes it to go, it to slow down.
Unions cause that problem.
Hmm.
They get first bid on every job, and then you go outside. Then you fight arbitration because you didn't pick the right one. D. Can't believe that. Managers understand the benefits, providing a fair and equitable system of job posting, promotions, and lateral moves.
And that's true.
Yeah, I mean, they never get it. All right, let's see here. Well, we finished that section. We got 80%.
Not bad.
Let's see. You guys want to wrap it up or you want to try one more?
Up to the group. One more, says Richard.
One more. That's she's secretly using somebody else's name on here. I don't know. She's got somebody else's. It's Jennifer Brown, not Richard. Sorry.
Ah, okay.
I did that the other day. All right, talent selection. All right, last one. Knock it out. 100%. Going fast. Rapid fire. An organization is looking to fill an IT position that requires the person fulfilling a role continuously to learn to stay up to date with new technology trends and capabilities. Which type of substantive assessment may help the organization determine if the candidates are right to learn and acquire new skills as required? Aptitude test, psychomotor test, personality test, cognitive ability skills. Well, is it A or D? I don't know. See, aptitudes is the right fit, right? I don't know what that psychomotor test. I don't know what that is. Dexterity and stuff like that. All right, A.
We'll go with A.
On a roll.
A.
One in a row. It is discovered that employee misrepresented his education credentials that he applied for in his current position. What do you do? He's out. The organization wants to terminate the new employee. Which document in the employee's record should the organization use as bias for terminating for a reason? So that's the one he signed that said everything's true and correct. Annual performance review, application form. There you go. Criminal history background check, resume, CV, B.
I think we nailed that one.
Yeah, unless they're a really good person, then we let them slide. What is likely to harm imposing an application document submission link for a tenured professor position at a public university? Loss of relevant information from their CV, inability to submit references with a resume, inability to submit a cover letter with a resume, no harm. Application documents should always be as brief as possible. Oh, that's like C resume. I hate that. Application, like C resume. Cut and paste it, dude. Do me a favor, cut and paste it. Loss of relevant information from the CV. That's a good one. Right, next question. That was correct. Which type of interview would be best for determining how multiple candidates would handle working in a dynamic situation where the ability to work fluidly in changing groups is required? Unstructured interview, fishbowl interview, stress interview, competency-based interview. Fishbowl, is that like all the candidates are in the same room?
Yeah, you get to watch them swim.
I like that. Dynamic situation. Hey, unstructured interview. We got A's and B's here. I don't know what that
It is.
We're going B. We're going B. It is B. Yes, nice job. I'm gonna try that one time with a bunch of like recycling technicians from the land. That's like you put something in the middle of the room and they all go for it, like fish food. The HR director is rapidly growing as startup needs for secure section talent, specific talent for specifically. I'm gonna start over. The HR director is rapidly growing startup needs to secure specific talent for a specialty department with a very short time frame to fill productivity. Which type of interviewing will be especially valuable in the selection process? Behavior, group or panel, competency-based or standardized? So it needs a bunch of people really fast in a short time. Behavioral, that's like, tell me about a time when this happened. What'd you do differently? What would you do again in the future if you had to do it over again? So that's out. Group or panel, it's hard to get the group or panel. Competency-based or standardized? So you're going to do a test. We got C, competency-based. Huh.
That's a specialty department, specific talents, rapidly growing startup.
Behavioral.
Somebody said behavioral.
Best prediction of future behaviors, past behavior.
Predictive index, where's that one? Good job. Nice job. Well, we crushed that when we go out on a win, right? 100%. Nice
All right,
job.
100%, yay. That's a good way to go out.
Good way to finish up. That's what we can say from now on. We only finish on 100% this time. Hey, you guys did great tonight. Marianne, I want to say thank you very much for everything you did on helping us out. Appreciate you filling in. We're going to be looking for in the next session. So we worked through our EC for one time. We worked through our district directors on another time. We worked through we're going to start working on our chapter presidents from all of our chapters across the state. So try to fill in some more of those. Maybe I'll reach back out to you in the next session, but I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for all you do for the study sessions. All right, so the conference is coming up. So Marianne, you doing stuff with the conference team now? Are you?
Yes. I am the webmaster for the conference. So I make the website look good for the conference.
That's awesome. Nice work. I appreciate that. I too am on the conference team, and I'm excited to have you. I'm glad you're there. We are going to have at the Gaylord coming up. We talked about it last time. It's I got 17 credits. If you got your PHR, SPHR, there's 17 business credits you can get at this conference. That's like the first time ever you can get 17. The 3 keynotes are all certified for business credits. There's an additional legislative conference that's going to be on Sunday. It's a 2-hour class, so you can get 19 credits without even going into the pre-cons. You can I'm going to give you 1 code word for 17 credits, and then you get 2 more for Sunday. Then you do pre-cons if you want. So there's a lot of education if you're working on your certification coming up. A lot of us are ahead of the game. I think I'm eligible to recertify like the 15th or something this month. So I've got that coming up myself. But it's at the Gaylord Palms, August 28th. It's going to be a great time. There's a 5K representing the Special Olympics. I can't wait to hear the hot chicken guy speak. I think that's going to be great. Dr. Drew's going to be there. If you haven't seen Dr. Drew, and once again, John Petz, the award-winning John Petz. He is an amazing guy and a great keynote, and I hope to see you guys all there. If you're taking a test this window, good luck to you guys. If you're taking it in the next window, even more better luck to you, because we're going to do this again. We might look at some times in the middle of the testing window as opposed to the end of the testing window, so we can get a bigger crowd. But thank you guys all that sat through these, and I appreciate your time. And I look forward to seeing you again. If I don't see you at the HR Florida, I'll see you maybe at leadership or something like that in the future coming up. So thank you guys very much, and good luck. Have a great day. Thank you all. Marianne, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Recording.